this is how they look from Sydney. It's a 16-year-old on pole, Jordan Mazzaroli. Josh Denton did a full season last year, so he'll be buoyed by that experience. Nick Rowe, the fast man this weekend, but got a 5-second penalty, which dropped him back to 4th yesterday, alongside the very fast Liam Lawson, who was leading the championship coming into this weekend. Tyler Everingham, one of his best races ever yesterday, 2nd for him. Cameron Shields, winner of the race yesterday, will be off P6. Simon Fallon having an off weekend by his lofty standards. Ryan Sewell, very quick, a youngster as well. Aaron Love, another local boy. His dad Ian here cheering him on this weekend. And over the page, a couple of drivers graduating out of the Aussie racing cars. That's Harley Haber and Zach Best. So a fleet of AGI Sport drivers at the back. This one will be 16 laps long. And can Nick Rowe make up for the disappointment of being stripped of the win yesterday? He'll be starting on that 2nd row, so he needs to get a good jump. One thing to think about here, this is Jordan Mazzaroli's 8th race in the championship. He's on pole. He'll be a very nervous 16-year-old. Got to get that car off the line.
Certainly does. And like we saw yesterday, the officials are watching, especially those front couple of rows. You're really under the scrutiny there. So it's only a short run down to turn 1 down here. And again, like we usually see, the guys on the right-hand side of the grid, so the odd numbers, so the guys on pole and right behind him have usually got the better run down into turn 1 because it's not a corner you want to be on the outside of. And track position here doesn't play that big a difference in getting a good start like we see at some other circuits.
Driving for the junior race development team, he's on pole position. That team yet to win a race in Cam's Jayco Formula 4. They'd dearly love to get one on the board here. He's balancing his Year 10 school studies at All Saints Catholic Boys College in Sydney with his young racing career. And he will have a lot of pressure on his young shoulders right now alongside a South Aussie Team BRM driver, Josh Denton. Time to go racing in the west. Reverse grid. Watch out for that red car on row 2. That's Nick Rowe. He's very quick. He knows this track. He's a local. Out goes the 5-second board. The Ford 1.6 litre motors start to rev up. Red light. A lot of wheel spin from Mazzaroli off the pole. Denton skinned him alive. Covers him down towards turn 1, and Nick Rowe wants a piece of this as well. Good start, Liam Lawson. He slots into 2nd. Look at Shields now on the outside, trying to move up into 3rd. We go on board with Ryan Sewell, so not a good start for the pole sitter. Or one off and across the dust. I think that was Shields. And as a result, Nick Rowe gets in front of him.
Not a great start for Nick Rowe either. Like you said, he's really trying to look to make amends for the disappointment of getting that jump start yesterday. He really has been the form guy all weekend. Qualified on pole position for race 1. He'll also start pole position for race 3 on the basis of the fact that he had the 2nd fastest time in qualifying.
Great move. Tyler Everingham up the inside of yesterday's race winner. Mazzaroli having a look at Lawson across the hill. That's for P2, and he pulls to the inside. Approaching speeds of 200 k's an hour. Who's best on the brakes? Give it to Mazzaroli down at turn 7, or maybe Lawson can hang on the outside. They give each other room. Good racing. Fallon goes around the curb. Needs to slot back in.
That's a big move to be able to stay on the outside of that final turn there and not get squeezed wide onto the exit curb there.
Nick Rowe, opportunistic. Mazzaroli going for 2nd, finds himself in 4th. Ooh, just clipping that curb there and spiking the RPM. So the 91 out like a shot. Great start, Josh Denton. Oh, Nick Rowe was right over to the inside, couldn't make it stick. Lawson swung around the outside of everybody.
Nick Rowe just found himself really with nowhere to go. He went to the right, got covered off there, went back to the left. There was cars there.
So what happened to the Macca's car?
Oh,
that's close.
Just got squeezed wide on the exit of 1 there, on board here.
Oh, that's tight. Lawson had the smarts to go around the outside of everybody.
4th to 2nd, not a bad start.
Still there at the moment too, so great start for the young Kiwi. This is how close it was. Watch the 73 here.
So you can see, just as you come through here, didn't really have much of an overlap there. Look, he probably made the smart decision to pull out of it. Ideally, not great to be going over the grass like that. But if he had stayed into that there, the incident would have been a huge one, as we've seen in the pass through there.
Now, this has just happened down at turn 7. Everingham on Mazzaroli, picking off his old team with a lock-up. That was close. Good racing here. Boys are into it. Whew. Oh, and then, Denton running wide, overcooking it down at turn 7 as well. So lucky to get away with that one. This is good stuff. They've come to play on Sunday morning in Cam's Jayco Formula 4. Denton's lead is a handy one. Nick Rowe, the fastest on the track, but he's back in P3. Here we go. Battle's on at the back. That's Aaron Love, the local, just defending down the inside line from Zach Best. And wants to try and stop the overlap down the front straight. Just covers it off. Harley Haber in the 21 trying to sneak through as well. Good battle the whole way through the field. Already nearly a quarter of the way through this one.
The officials will start to take a dim view on that if you keep doing that lap after lap. You can get away with doing it sort of once or twice, but if you start driving that defensively, like he was defensive down into 7 and then to come back across into turn 1, you'll probably get a tap on the shoulder after the race and just maybe advise it's not maybe the best way to go about things.
Carl Reindler is the man in the hot seat for making those decisions. He's harsh but fair, and he's trying to set a good precedence for these young careers as well. Oh, Haber sliding out, and Murdoch went even further. Lost a lot of momentum in the 44.
And one of the important things in these cars, because they don't have a lot of power, you can't afford to be sliding the cars on the exit, especially onto the back straight. It's the uphill run over the hill there. It's really going to hurt the straight line performance of these cars. And like we see in all categories, it really starts to hurt the tyre in the long run.
Tyres are the word down here, guys. I can tell you that Simon Fallon's left front was virtually done earlier on. They've rotated it to the right rear, and that's pretty much what everyone's doing at the moment, and we still have one race to go.
We'd have Cameron Van den Dungen down in the lane again. The action in Cam's Jayco Formula 4. We'll hear from Cam throughout our support categories in the pits. Remember the Australian GT Championship here as well with the Aussie racing cars and the Stadium Super Trucks. This is the race for second.
You can see Nick Rowe's car starting to squirm on entry there. So again, it's that old issue of tyres is really sort of going to come into play. By the time we get to race the final race this afternoon, these guys are going to be really battling to work out what's going to be the best way in terms of tyre strategy to make them last for another 16 laps.
That's a long way back to make this move work, and Ryan Sewell's got it done. So Mazzaroli, our pole sitter, drops back to 7th. He's been quite sporting, Mazzaroli, in the room that he's giving down there at turn 7. And then Sewell just covering off that inside line at turn 1. Beautifully prepared and presented Ray White, Formula 4. Talking about the tyre life and how harsh this track is. Let's slow it down so we can have a look. Wow, look at the right side tyres. You can, wow, it's literally shedding its rubber layers as it goes up through turn 3. That's incredible vision. This move again at turn 7, you've got to be committed.
You certainly do, because as we spoke about before, it's such a short braking distance in these cars. Because it's an uphill braking as well, you can brake so much deeper than what you actually think you can. For the guy on the outside, you're then content with the curb on the exit. So you've really got to give each other a bit of racing room and have your wits about you.
It's first and second in the championship we're watching right now. Lawson, after a terrific round, 2 rounds actually at Sandown on debut. 15-year-old from New Zealand. Oh, he's run it a little hot into turn 1. Half a chance there for Nick Rowe. The timing screen down the bottom showing that Rowe has been the quicker of the drivers over the last 5 laps.
The guy on the charge out there is actually Everingham. He actually set the fastest lap so far of the race, and he's actually got the fastest sectors out there. So maybe he's done something different with his tyres compared to everyone else, but is it going to last the duration of the race?
Personal best race result from yesterday of 2nd. Rowe's taking a very aggressive line through there.
Like you said, he's much shallower on entry, but it also causes him to wash out further on the exit, effectively making the back straight longer for him. And you actually can see it's not working for him because Lawson gets the better run out of there. And that's the thing. It's one thing to be fast on the way into the corner, but if you can't be fast out of the corner and you start to lose speed down the straight, you really need to have a think about what you're doing. And the good thing is he's got the car in front. He can see that he's now losing speed on the back straight. He needs to change something that he's going to be able to do, because really one of the great overtaking spots on this circuit for these guys is down there into turn 7.
I had a chat with the young man who's winning this race about an hour ago, and he was behind the car that we're looking at in yesterday's race, coming out of turn 6, which we were just talking about, Warren. Just understeering. Every time you get close to the guy in front of you, you just cannot get the car to turn out of turn 6. You can't get that run that you need to make the move down the bottom of the hill. Let's watch it again. Let's see if Nick changes anything here. A little bit wider on entry. Oh, Denton wide at the exit in the 91. Is that going to hurt his run up the hill?
The interesting thing is, though, whilst these guys are sort of battling each other and everything like that, the man to watch here is actually in P4, Tyler Everingham. He's the one that's been the fastest of the race so far. He's really starting to catch up onto these guys. So Nick Rowe now finds himself in that awkward position of he's trying to pass the car in front, but now he needs to start going defensive and think about the car behind.
A lot of drivers and a lot of people here this weekend thought that this would be a bit of a foregone conclusion with Nick Rowe's experience here. Even in this reverse grid race, they thought he would charge to the front out of P3, but it's proving to be a real tough battle for him. SCT Logistics AGI Sport entry, the red 97, here he comes. Oldest in the field at just 18 years of age. We've got a real battle on our hands here. This is building.
And there's still plenty of laps left in this race. We've only just gone past half race distance. So again, it's that old adage of trying to manage the tyres the best, look after them, and like we've spoken about, they've still got another race this afternoon. So these guys are going to be sliding around probably similar to the stadium super trucks.
Throw a few jumps out there, you reckon?
Well, maybe not.
Everingham's definitely close enough to have a crack here at Rowe. So we've got Team BRM 1-2, AGI Sport in third, and then the newest team, Zagami Motorsport, in fourth. Very different lines between Lawson and Nick Rowe again down there at turn one. Real game of cat and mouse. When's this going to come to life? When's it going to spring open? Get the feeling it's coming.
You can see that there's something exciting is going to happen here. It's a matter of where and when.
Down here at turn 6, maybe. It's a bit of a staring contest at the moment. Cannot afford to make a mistake. You're driving on the limit to just stay within reach of the car in front. If you miss a braking zone, you're pretty much out of it. So still some time for this one to play out, Cameron.
Yeah, I've just been following Tyler Everingham, guys, and they said that tyre life has been their focus from the start of this weekend, so they feel they're going to continue this strength throughout this today.
There's still one more race later with another 16 laps on the board. Just to give you an idea, yesterday's fastest lap was a 58.6, and had a 58.9 from Josh Denton, the fastest lap of the race today. So they're not going off as much as we would have thought, to be honest.
No, certainly not. But look, one of the big talking points whenever we come over here to the West in every category is tyres, and what's going to be the strategy to get you through the weekend to not only be fast, but to obviously make the tyres last. And that's one of the sort of the big trade-offs over here. It's easy to be fast, but it certainly takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of life out of your tyres. And that's one of the important lessons that these young guys will be able to learn and take from this weekend. It's their first time here for most of them, so it's really about learning that art of tyre management and what you've got to do to be fast over the duration of the weekend, not just in one of the races.
Denton is on the limit through turn 6, the race leader, all the way to the end. Got a South Aussie leading a Kiwi, leading a West Aussie, leading a New South Welshman from Dubbo, leading a Queenslander. Bit of a mix inside the top 5. Go back down to Cameron.
Yeah, just before the race, guys, I was talking to Josh Denton's dad, Craig Denton, also president of Karting SA. He said that Josh has really been struggling with turn 6, and that backs up what Tim Macro was saying yesterday. They're very happy with his heavy braking application, but he's just struggling a little bit with that lighter brake application and release.
Craig was the 1992 national karting champion, and his dad Trevor, a champ back in '64, and Denton, Josh, champ in 2013, so 3 generations of national karting champs across that family. As Zane Morse moves up on Mazzaroli now. Zane's getting to grips here this weekend, creeping up on things. He's got the star on the engine cover, which means he's part of our CAMS Foundation Rising Star program. They'll be doing some work soon with the Australian Institute of Sport. So they teach these kids everything from nutrition to fitness to media. It's a pretty cool program, and even throw some coin behind them to go racing too. So good luck to our 4 CAMS Rising Star Foundation drivers.
It really is a great program, because this is something that that happens in so many other places around the world, and for us to be able to help our youngsters out and really sort of set them off on the right foot to be able to sort of go overseas if that's what they choose to do. It's really a great initiative by CAMS to help them out in all aspects of the sport, because when you're a youngster coming through, you're focusing on the driving, but this really gets them to think about, like you said, it's all the aspects of what makes a complete race car driver.
Denton just having a peek in the mirrors. Lawson's getting closer. Not close enough. 3 to go next time by. First time the West Aussie fans have seen Cam's Jayco Formula 4. First time the National Junior Formula has been in the country, this side of the country, for 11 years. We had Formula Ford back here in 2006, and this is getting close at the front. 4 laps in a row, Lawson's been quicker than the leader.
And interestingly, this is what we saw in the race yesterday. Nick Rowe, he took off and actually got out to nearly a 2.5-second lead, but eventually sort of came back to the pack of the guys chasing him yesterday. Big slide there by Denton, and this is exactly what we're getting at in terms of tyres. Has he used too much of the tyre too early in the race? We've only got 3 laps remaining, but now these guys are on him. They can see that he's struggling. This is where these guys are going to start to sort of put some pressure on and see if they can force him into an error.
Here we go. We said this was building, and it might just be the case. The young Kiwi, we're right on board with him. He can smell blood in the water. He has to just check his mirrors too to make sure that Nick Rowe's not pondering a move down at turn 7.
You can see Denton struggling to get to the apex there. It runs wide, so tyres are definitely gone on this car.
This is it. He's got the overlap. He's up the inside at turn 1. Is this the change for the lead? The Team BRM teammates are side by side through the first corner. And he's got him. It was coming.
The problem for Denton now is running wide like that through turn 1. He's going to have all the marbles on his tyres. Now you can see Rowe all over the back of him. He needs a couple of corners to be able to get the marbles off, get the tyres back, and really try and hang on here. He's in a race for survival.
Denton covers the inside at turn 6. Does Rowe think about it? He does. He throws the slide job and pulls it off beautifully. Great move. Everingham gets the run out of 6. They nearly bang wheels. Josh Denton was first, and now he's looking like being 4th, although Rowe was really slow out of turn 6. Everingham wants 2 for the price of 1. It's tight down the bottom of the hill. Rowe holds steady, and this has given Liam Lawson a chance to just gap them. Denton wants Everingham back. He might get him too. Final lap. This is good stuff from Cam's Jayco Formula 4. Tight, a little rub wheel to wheel. They go side by side. Can they do it up through here? There's a lot of marbles. Not quite. Denton gets out of it. He'll be filthy. Tiny error left him vulnerable. Good stuff. Liam Lawson now has broken clear. With half a lap to go, his lead is 1 second. Nick Rowe staring down the barrel of back-to-back second-place finishes. How good is Liam Lawson? We're starting to get an idea of what this young man's future might hold. Is there anything left on the last lap? Oof, this is tight. Everingham covers the middle. Denton tries the Ricardo move. Fakes one side, goes the other. Makes it stick. Or does he? Good stuff. Denton gets back to 3rd, but it's Lawson, the Kiwi, who picks up his 3rd victory of the season. Good racing from the youngsters. Are we seeing a future Scott McLaughlin or Shane Van Gisbergen in the making with Liam Lawson? How about this one on the last corner?
That's a massive dive down the inside, but that's great driving by both guys there, but great driving by Denton there. Never wanting to give up. He's seen going from the lead back to 4th, got a sniff in that last corner, threw it down the inside, and because it's such a short run to the finish line there, it's a risky move, but it's one that can certainly pay off.
You felt it bubbling. You felt the pressure rising, and right at the end it went off. Liam Lawson, great job to get his teammate. He picks up the win, his 3rd of the year. Nick Rowe, 2nd once again. He'll have pole for race 3. Josh Denton did a good job to fight back to 3rd. He held his head high. Cameron Shields wrapping up the top 5. That was a really entertaining race all the way through the pack. Sage Murdoch just fell off a bit there, maybe tyre life hurting. He rounds out the field of 13. That was exciting stuff.